Ready to have some fun? Let's do it.
Be honest, I'm a nature freak.
We don't make mistakes. We have happy accidents. All kinds of happy little things going on. And if it doesn't make you happy, you're doing the wrong thing.
TikTok did not like that I posted it and people, someone commented, make podcast equipment more expensive.
Oh, geez.
So I posted a clip.
Wait, what one? What clip?
It was about, I think it was about fruits. It was part of the fruits versus vegetables.
That is a funny burn. Make podcast equipment more expensive.
No, honestly, I don't care if people hate on our stuff.
That's
if they
funny.
hate on it, if it hates and goes viral, I will take it.
I actually think that is a hilarious comment to leave.
Yeah.
Make podcast equipment more expensive.
Yeah.
That is hilarious.
It's a gnarly burn, man.
I actually just learned, so I just downloaded TikTok pretty recently. And so I've learned like the hilarity of going through TikTok comments.
Yes, that's the best part
Bro,
of TikTok.
so
Probably
funny.
same Reels too. Mm-hmm. I don't go on Reels very often, but
Yeah,
I struggle to try to like be productive with that because I do the same thing with Reels. It's like you watch a Reel and then I don't know something about your mind. I want to see what other people said, and then I just
See
get
all the
lost in
comments.
comments.
Some
Is
of
it
the
same
TikToks
way?
are so funny though. Like it's
Yeah.
like there's
the
actual
comments will make the
comedic.
TikTok even
Yeah.
funnier.
So
Like-
tell me what is the difference between, because I don't have TikTok, but what is the difference between like a TikTok Reel, or I guess just a TikTok,
It's the same.
and like an Instagram Reel or a YouTube Reel? What's
It's
the difference?
same. They're all the same.
Yeah.
And most people post the same ones to all three, and I know that because I do.
Yeah.
So
Dude.
does it help to get all three, or is there one that you should get? Because I don't know how it works.
Personally, I only use TikTok, but I know like my brother posts a lot on YouTube Shorts, but it's because he's monetized on YouTube, so he can make money from it.
Ooh.
Flex.
But
Yeah, for
there's
real,
a lot
for
of
real.
people most people who post on TikTok also post their stuff on Instagram Reels.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I think just to get every audience, I guess.
Oh my gosh. I don't know. Dude, your sister sent me this one. I thought it was so funny. It was like they took it down, unfortunately. It's not there anymore. But it was like there was these two women. One of them was like holding open a door and she was like holding a knife, but she was holding it so like weak. Like she was like very like unprepared with holding the knife. But then the person who is on the other side, she's like screaming, like she's down the hall, so she can't even see anyone that's outside the door. And she's like, "We see you!" Like trying to like scare the person.
I saw that one.
Dude, I was crying.
But there's no one there.
No, of course, yeah. They think someone's out there, so she's like, "We see you!" Like, get the F out here! Like screaming at them.
And there ended up being
There's
no
one
one.
there. But the comments on that one, I literally was like tea kettle laughing at this because she was like the comments were like, "I need a Claire in my life," like, or it's like, "Who gave Claire a knife?"
Yes.
Like, things like that, bro. So funny. And then I went on there, yeah, and then they took that post down because they said that I don't know, like TikTok took it
Well,
down or
yeah,
whatever.
TikTok flags is also.
I just thought it was so funny. That concept, it made me think about, I remember being a kid and playing hide and seek, and you just walk into a room and be like, "I see you," like hoping that they'd be like, "Oh man," like
Yeah.
someone come out.
Or like start like getting out of their hiding spot. Found you.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That was always a move. That's what I always used to do.
Have you guys heard about that sport, Power Slap?
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Of course. Yes, of course. I've seen TikToks.
So I saw a reel the other day of, well, for those that don't know, it's basically two people that just slap each other one at a time.
As hard as they can,
Just getting
bro.
clipped.
Hard.
There's no way I could do that.
The whole premise is just to see how long you
Dude,
can
the face
stand
you
there.
make before getting slapped, just sitting there like,
You can't move. You can't move. You get
just
points
have to take it.
reduced, right?
I don't know.
If you flinch or move.
I'm just taking a smack.
But
dude.
there was so the camera angles are like from the
Two.
they're like
Letting it absolutely
the camera angles, though.
fly.
like from the front and then from the side. And so there was this reel where this dude gets snapped across the face, but the referee was like directly behind him, and so the guy got
He felt the recoil. The ref got blown back too.
so the guy that got hit just immediately got knocked out and fell straight down. But the ref's face was like directly behind him, and so it looked at like this guy changed heads for a minute. And so like this guy falls
the
in,
angle,
in the angle of the camera, this guy's head falls in the like the ref's face is just right behind him. So it's like bloop, just immediately goes right behind him. And like I just went straight to the comments. I'm like, oh my gosh! And they were saying like he got slapped so hard, basically he changed into another person. It literally looked like his head got slapped, and then like in an instant it became another one. But
Just Legoed out.
just Legoed out. But I'm just wondering, like you think about things that are new, and then you kind of wonder how long it's going to go for.
Yeah.
With Power Slap, do you think about that? It's like, what is the trajectory of that?
It's very limited. I mean, there's sports where people are getting like crane kicked in the mouth. Like
it's not going to be like a sport, but it's huge in Vegas.
Yeah.
Because people gamble.
It's
with
huge
it.
what?
In Vegas right
That's
now.
weird.
Because people are like
betting on it?
betting on it. Yeah.
I remember Dana White. He was talking about like this is the next big thing, and it's like, dude, you have UFC like that. The Power Slap is not going to be.
What's hilarious about that is I feel like everyone unanimously was like, no, it ain't.
No,
it's
Yeah.
not.
No, I mean, it's interesting to like see a reel pop up, but I'm not going to sit there and watch a tournament.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm almost embarrassed for the dudes that are like, yeah. It's like, dude, relax.
They got like cotton in their ear, half their face is swollen.
I could not take it. I could not get smacked in the face like
no,
that.
I couldn't
I
either.
mean, I'm sure it takes some sort of like actual. Yeah.
I think I would rather get punched in the face than just sit there
Dude,
and
a
just get
slap
slapped
hurts.
over and over and over again.
Yeah, because it's
I don't
like one
that.
of you's getting knocked out.
Yeah.
And yeah, you'll see it, and it's like, yeah, literally, they're like bleeding from it. It's like, nope, no thanks.
Yeah,
I would fake it. I'd for sure fake it.
Just fall
Fake what?
first slap.
I'm done.
You'd like bet against yourself, cash in.
I always have that thought, like if this is a terrible, this is deep stuff, but if I ever was in war, I'm pretending I'm dead, bro.
Oh man,
You know what I mean?
Ever in war.
that really just took a dark turn.
I know.
That's
Also,
a
that's such
dark-
a cowardly thing to do, but like, I would do it.
But at least you're
No, but
honest.
that's good. It can
At
keep
least
you
you're
alive.
honest about it.
But
Yeah.
then they come up and check you, and I'm like, trying not to breathe. I'm like giggling
Yeah.
because I'm ticklish.
Do you get anxiety during those like war movies where they're like bayoneting the?
Oh gosh,
because you're like that would have been me.
Dang it,
like,
I would have been dead.
just take it. Just turn away there. Just take it.
Like a power slap.
Yeah,
Literally,
That's terrible.
one right to the leg.
You're like, that was a weird sound this body just made.
Yeah, well, you must be decomposing. I don't know.
Oh my gosh. That's terrible.
That'd be a
Hope
bad
they
one.
have bad aim.
Yeah,
They're
literally.
doing that.
Yeah, for real. It's hard to lay there to not look like you're not breathing. Just look down at my stomach's just like slightly.
Well, you know what's
lifting.
sad is that's what they're teaching kids to do in
Oh,
the case of
gosh.
school shootings now.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Way
that
to
really-
lift
It's
us up.
true.
That really went down.
It is
That
true.
is-
That's what parents are teaching their kids now, and they're teaching their kids how to look like they're not breathing when they're
Really?
laying on the ground.
Golly.
So how do you give advice on that?
Well, like they'll just have their. I saw a TikTok,
This
of
is
course, of this, but this
heavy.
parent was like, just like coaching her daughter, like, no, I can still see you breathing, more shallow breaths, and like just like watching her to be like, okay, this is what I'm seeing. You need to like not do that.
I think like it's a terrible it's a terrible thing to even think about.
For me, it's just like part of the
Why are you
end of the
laughing at
world.
I'm just how uncomfortable I am. No, I agree with that. It is the sign of the times for sure coming to an end there, I think. Yeah, it's a terrible thing. I remember thinking about like it was almost for kids who are so like on the outskirts of like just like not society, but like of popularity. It's almost like I think it can be easy to think that doing horrific things like that is a way for them to gain attention because it's like it's such a bit. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's like if that's like I don't know. Yeah, it's terrible.
Oh my gosh.
That's why that was like the reason that
Yeah.
the shooter of John Lennon did what he did.
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody really
Right.
knows that guy's name, but
Wait, John Lennon was shot?
yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. Like,
Oh, I thought you were being serious.
Yeah, I was like,
John Lennon's dead.
John Lennon's dead. Yes.
No,
Yeah. You just have a moment.
no.
Like just speaking with the whole social media thing, I really think like at least in our culture, I don't know, the idea of success, the idea of like making it. It's just like, oh, making the dollars, making, hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions
Everybody
of dollars.
knows me.
Yeah.
Oh, everybody knows me. Popularity. What is the word? Clout? Like,
Clout.
Is that like that's like popularity? That's what the young kids are saying.
That makes you sound old.
Clout.
What is clout?
Clout, right?
But yes, clout. That is what it is.
I hate that name, but clout.
Is that a name for a person? Clout?
Well, it's like the.
Well, I'm not going to name
the
my
word, I
unborn
guess.
children clout.
Okay.
But that's like the name of popularity,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Term, I think. Maybe.
What
not
is the
name,
different
but the term?
What?
To have clout is not just popularity, but if you want clout, you want to be talked about.
Right.
So it's different than just popularity.
Right.
Interesting.
If that makes sense.
No, that actually does. I thought it was just to seek out popularity, but it's actually like to have people just like being like talking
Yeah.
about you and stuff. That's interesting. Talking about your name, not your term, right? No, so I don't know. I just feel like our culture is that.
Yeah.
Like that's what we live in. It's like we want to be recognized, or like the FOMO, or we don't want to be missing out. We want to be part of it.
Yeah.
We want to be the topic, and so I feel like it lends itself to what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
Dang,
dude.
that term,
Yeah.
not that name,
Right.
That term.
I'm sorry, Caleb. I love you, dude.
That term.
I just want to go on the record and say I love you.
That term.
On record. Off record. Hate you.
Off record.
On record.
I don't know. Even that felt a little.
On record, if people are looking, I love you. If they're not, I have mixed opinions about you. But no. Just kidding, dude. just crushing on the.
Why would you say that?
I'm just joking, bro. Just kidding. JK. That's so funny. I'm actually, dude, that whole time, like, talking about, like, I just recognized that we were talking about, like, the term of clout, like, is it, like, the difference between a term or a name? Immediately, I was thinking, like, make podcast equipment more expensive.
Yeah.
Dude, that is so funny.
Oh, man.
That is so funny.
But no, I don't know. I just, I don't know. I think, like, that's, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. Like,
Chasing clout?
Oh, it's not good.
just like what we, like our culture, like what we put into that, like trying to be famous, like that's like a job or something, or like that's like the desire of everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Is like
yeah.
the idea of success is either to like to be famous or
Yeah.
I don't know, like make millions of dollars or something. Like the idea of just like living life, or blue collar work, or just I don't know, just like.
Well, I'm cool with that. Blue collar work like that.
I'm saying I think
It's
the idea.
not desirable
Yes,
anymore.
that's what I'm.
okay.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Okay.
Like the idea of that is not good.
Yeah.
The idea of like just living life, blue
Yeah.
collar work, or like middle class. It's like the idea of living life, the idea of success in our culture.
Yeah.
At least for us that that are coming up. Mm-hmm. It's like you have to be white collar. It's like you have to be making millions of dollars.
Or even worse. Like my little cousin, like literally, like these idiots on like YouTube, like this stuff, like just
like games and stuff, like
no.
recording themselves.
Nope, not that. Not that at all.
Dude, you're just going after everybody.
Can you continue?
Not that. I'm talking about, like, for example, like I just saw. Not that at all. That's not what I meant. I cut that for sure. No, I'm talking about like my cousin is talking to me about like this kid on like TikTok or something called like the Rizzler and just
yes.
like that type of stuff. It's like, dude, or the Costco guys, like dudes. I don't know, like things like that. It's like, dude, you look like a goofball, and like you're just doing that for clout. That's what I mean. Like stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's like, why? Like, why are you doing this? Like, do something that's actually valuable to...
Because it's easier and you make more money doing that stuff. Doing stuff online is just so much easier to get paid from and do less of.
Yeah.
And so that's why everyone wants to do it, because you have you can do stuff on Twitter, you can do stuff on, you can even get paid on Pinterest. I found out to be like a Pinterest influencer, and so you can get paid from all these things and not actually have to go into a 9 to 5, which is like why no one wants to do it. I think
it's fine. Like if you're actually like producing something that's like entertainment, but like to a certain level, it just like gets to a level where it's like, what are we doing? Like this, like I'll just sit with my cousin, see some of the stuff that he's like watching on YouTube and stuff. It's like, dude, this is so dumb. Like, I don't know. It's just like, what the heck, bro? just goofy stuff. It's like, what is this? What is this? This doesn't add anything to.
Yeah, the whole idea of an influencer is just weird. Like, you just get paid to make people want to do the things like you're doing. Yeah. Which is just kind of weird to me.
Yeah. No, I agree. It is a weird concept. Yeah, they are. They really are everywhere.
And it started with YouTube, honestly, because people on YouTube started getting paid. Then it transferred to all the other social medias, and now they're all getting paid to just do whatever.
Yeah. And then it's like, it's just like, to get like awareness, you have to like one up the absurdity of the person that's before you, and it's just like people just being weirdos and just being goofy
I like people like Mr. Beast though, who like have good character and have kept that character throughout like their career and their success. Like the way he gives back and like does stuff for like people who are in need is just amazing. And like he lives a very like, what is the word? Like, he doesn't need a lot in his life. Like, he just lives in an apartment. He could afford a mansion. And I think he does drive a Tesla. But like for the amount of money he makes, that's understandable. But as far as like day-to-day living goes, like he's not decked out in Gucci. Like he's just like tries to live like a normal guy. And I think that's like very admirable for like people who are influencers like that, because it's like, if you're getting all that, you should give back, because especially like Mr. Beast, he's like, I'm doing dumb stuff and getting money. Why would I just pretend I'm the coolest thing in the world for
real,
this?
Dude. Yeah.
Do you think people that are like that? Do you think that that's who they are? Because I feel like a lot of the influencer stuff that you're talking about, it's like, you know, for people that are generations above us, it's like what they would consider that kind of like reality TV. It's like 24/7 reality TV. You're putting videos of yourself on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. Do you think that's who they really are, or do you think some of them that is, some of them not? Like, do you think that's who they really are?
Mr. Beast, yes, just because of, just like, I don't know, throughout, eventually I feel like your true colors show, and he's like never gotten into like PR trouble or anything. Like when any of his employees like start going off the rails, he gets rid of them. He definitely like, I think, just sticks true to who he is, but a lot of people aren't. Like a lot of people online play a persona, and they're that persona for when they post stuff, and they're definitely someone else offline.
Yeah, and I think that's where that for me, that's when it becomes like, this is not great, because it's like you have kids watching people pretend to be something that's not actually possible at all. Like you can't have that persona. You can't be that goofy. Like you can't be like, I don't know, you can't do certain things all the time, and it's like kids see that and that's all they see, and it's like, well, I'm gonna try to be like that. And it's like, no, dude, you can't be like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like that. Have you guys ever seen that? I don't remember. Sam Solik, was that his name?
Yeah, Sam Solik.
He like
big old muscular dude.
Like, it's crazy.
There's a guy at Planet Fitness that dresses just like him. Like,
really?
It's like trying. But
what do you not like about Sam Solik?
I like him, but it's like he makes it seem like kind of what Nathan was saying, like for younger kids or like teen boys who are watching that, being like, yeah, bro, I can do that and look like that. It's like, no, that guy's on steroids, bro. Like you're never gonna. And I feel like that hurts kids' self-esteem, because they're like, well, I'm never gonna be like that. Which I'm not sure who's trying to be as big as him, but
well, for sure, Well, that's the thing with the Liver King. Like his whole thing was like he swore he was like, hey, and he built his whole like product around not those things, and it's like, you just need to do these things and all this stuff, and then, like he would deny it, like that was part of his identity. It's like, dude, you're obviously like crazy roided up, and then it's like he got found out, and it's like, yeah, dude, obviously. Yeah,
it's just being deceitful. Like, there's just, a lot of influencers are very deceitful. And it's like, it's even been bad on, like, the Christian influencing world, because it's like, there's been, like, stuff that's come out about, like, different Christian influencers stuff, especially the Mormons, that whole thing. The whole show. I just started watching The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. Yeah. And so, like, all that stuff is just, like, crazy. And then I think it, like, hurts the credibility of, like, other Christian influencers.
Well, because with that particularly, like, I was watching one of those types of shows that has to do with like Christian like wives, and probably it might be what you were talking about, but
Secret Lives of Mormon Wives.
Yeah, something like that. And I was sitting next to someone who doesn't know anything about church or anything, and like for them, that's like their entire perspective on what church life looks like. And they're like talking about all these different things, and they're like, man, like it just feels so culty. And it's like, yeah, but everything that this is about is not in Scripture at all. Like this isn't anywhere close to what it's supposed to look like. It's just, so things like that, suck because it's like
it's hard when there's like different denominations too, because some of them do things a lot differently than like we might do, and so like there's this really like popular Pentecostal like TikToker, and not to bash the Pentecostals, but talking in tongues and stuff, we don't really do that at the jar.
Right.
It's like not part of our like every Sunday thing.
Sure. Yes.
And so like people on TikTok are like, this girl's crazy, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And other people are just like, she's Pentecostal. That's
so she films herself talking in tongues?
No, but she like talks about it.
Oh, okay.
Like she's just she has like a podcast too, just about like her Christianity journey and stuff. And so she's always talking about like the Pentecostal church and stuff, and it's just like not every church is like that. Like if you like that stuff, go there. But like not for me personally.
I've actually never experienced like a full Pentecost. I can imagine there's some stories. I had a friend of mine, he went to one time, and he like doesn't come from the church or anything. He just got into Christianity, went to like a very expressive Pentecostal church. He's like, dude, people were running around, people were screaming. He's like, no joke, I was just sitting there like relaxed, and he's like, the pastor like looked at me and was like, some of you in here need to like give in to the Spirit, like pointing at him. And I was like, what a terrifying experience. Like people
They're
are just
intense.
running. I love sometimes like the videos like on Instagram and stuff like that. They'll like people will like just throw a jacket at someone and they're like running and then they're like sprinting. Not making fun of it. It might be real, but it's also like, brother.
Man, I've been a Christian, ever since I was a little child, just raised in the church.
Yeah.
I've been to one Pentecostal church, and I think I don't know if I have enough strength to go to another one. You know? What I experienced.
You went to one in the South too, right?
What I experienced.
Stepping on snakes.
Man, it was just like nuts. It's like I've had dreams that weren't even as crazy as that. I walked in, I didn't know what to expect, and I've been in church. I wasn't intimidated of being in a church, and it seemed pretty normal. There were like pews at the beginning, the big old church or whatever, and then all of a sudden they just like begin. And then it's like people know what they're doing. It's like if you walked into a movie set and everyone had their choreographed things of random things going on. There was like a choir on the stage. They're singing. People's hands are going.
Yeah.
They're like speaking in tongues. The choir's going. The music's going. And then everyone in the auditorium, it's like they're doing different things. There's like one lady flop around on the ground. There's like another there's a couple people running back and forth down the aisle, just like they're running, like sprinting. Yeah. They're not like doing anything like singing along. It's like they're just trained, like they're warming up to run or something, like on a track. There's like old people waving hankies, and like there was like this one lady like with a walker. She's just like she's like I think she's speaking in tongues or she was singing, but it looked like, and I was looking over, and the people in my aisle, they're just like they're like have you ever seen the ribbon people?
Yes.
It's like that's what the interpretive dance thing. Yeah. It's like they're using the ribbons, but they don't have any ribbons, and so they're just like like that. And I'm standing there just like trying to, like what Hitch says in the movie Hitch, when he's like try to casually dance, he's just like kind of like, snap and boppy, or that's all I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to like be a part of it. I have never experienced anything so wild. I mean, everyone was doing that. And it's like all the noises coming from it. I thought like maybe I was dreaming for a minute.
That's interesting.
It was wild.
Well, it's funny because there is like there's a line between that, right? Because it like, I mean, you think about it, when the disciples received the Holy Spirit, like the tongue of like flame is above them. People were like, yo, these dudes are drunk. So like at the same thing for them, they were experiencing that same experience. Like this is crazy. Like to be like, these dudes are like literally, they're drunk right now. So they like people, you can think that, but it's also like some of that stuff might be true. But it's also like Paul also talks about like, don't do that. Like if like even speaking in tongues, like don't do that unless there's someone there to interpret it, because it's like, think about what you're doing to the people who don't know what's happening. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because like I remember when I invited my aunt to a church service that I went to when I was younger, and there were people there speaking in tongues, like we were having a prayer huddle thing and everything, and one of the people actually started like kind of laughing a little bit during the time, and it was like, it literally was like, it just felt so uncomfortable, because it's like, my aunt has no idea what's happening. There's people like speaking to her gibberish, and this lady's like laughing. It's like, that is so scary.
I had this one, it's like jolting. It's like, okay, what's happening with that lady right
for
now?
me, because it's like, to me, I can be like, well, even if I sometimes question like if it's true or not, I'm still like, I get what's happening here. But to someone who has no idea, you're like, what the heck, dude?
Yeah.
There's this one church I went to one time where it wasn't quite like that, and I can't remember if they were a Pentecostal church, but like this one lady would sit in the back, and she'd have like like a bongo or whatever with her, congo.
Just brought it in.
Congos. Yeah, just brought it in. It's hers.
Sick.
Yeah, that's just like they knew her, and they're like, oh, that's just Linda, like whatever. I don't know.
Going in.
She's like, oh, it's just me and my congas, and so she's just sitting in the back. And what she would do during the message, whenever like the pastor was just getting going, what she would do is just like she was like,
man.
Yes sir, she was like the amplifier of like the moment, but she wasn't like necessarily on beat. It's not like, I don't know if she thought she was a professional conga player, but she'd do these little taps. Yeah. And so he was just like, and the Lord said you are loved. And she'd just go, doo-doo. It wasn't like, it wasn't anything intense. It was just like, boo-doo-bing. Boink. Yeah. And then she'd also get verbal too. And it was just weird because she was the only one doing that. Other people weren't like, yeah, this is awesome.
Just quiet.
She was the only one who was quiet. And then you just hear like, doo-doo. And then every now and again she'd be like, preacher, like that. She'd say things like that.
It's sick they let her come in though with that.
I think it's amazing that they're like, that's just
Embrace it.
That's just old Janelle sitting in the back, old Barbara in the back.
What if she was a plant, the pastor actually? It was like his cousin or something like that.
She's like, I need a hype person for me, not for anyone else.
Cousin, bring the congos.
This guy.
Bring them.
No, I love good church though, where people in the crowd are like, "Hey man!"
I do too.
Those,
I like
those
it too.
fire me up.
I like it too.
I kind of wish the jar was a little bit more like that,
Yeah.
but we're not there yet.
No,
Maybe
I like
one
that
day.
too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like
some call and response.
Yeah, to me, I'm like, get fired up.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Good old clap.
Sam Solik.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris also doesn't evoke like, let's go. Like he's more like, yes, like you're
He's
just
more of an emotional pastor.
Yeah,
I feel
exactly.
like he
Yeah.
really tries to hit the emotions every week.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. When next time I teach, I'm gonna scream up there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pat my head and just go crazy.
Keep
Yeah,
a rag.
get a hanky and just
Yeah. Come on.
Just start going. Yeah.
I just actually saw this video of this pastor was like, dude, full blown like screaming at the congregation, was like kicking the pulpit and stuff. It's like, brother, man.
passionate.
Like passionate or like
No,
he's
like
just
angry.
disappointed.
Like disappointment. Like he was like
no.
like screaming at them for like not reading their Bibles and stuff. It's
Wow.
That's
like,
terrible.
brother,
Yeah.
relax. He was like, I'm tired of what this church is becoming. It's like,
Sorry,
yeah.
Mr. Pastor.
Tell us what we need to do there, pal. Come on. Just show us.
terrifying stuff.
Yeah, that is pretty crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I do love a good pastor that's getting
Man, I had another awkward experience like with that whole call and response thing. So like some friends and I, this is like, I don't know, probably like 8 years ago at this point, before time at the jar, we went to like more of an African American church. It was predominantly African American, and there's a lot of call and response in that culture.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's definitely interesting compared to like a heavily Caucasian culture. Like we sit in silence, and so like there's way more call and response when the message is going, and I do love that. I love the passion behind that because it's not just the person speaking. It's like it's like the spirit is moving, moving inside of the people receiving the message.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It is cool, but it can be like jolting, I guess for people that aren't used to that.
I like it.
So I made the mistake of sitting front row. I made a mistake. Like it was a mistake, and so like that was my first experience, and I sat front row because the friends I was with were like, "Yeah, this is where we go," and I was like, "Okay, cool." And so like I wasn't used to the call and response, and the guy with that was speaking had a mic like this, and he would coming up to the people in the front row. He's like, "Oh, and what do you say about that?"
Yeah, I hit you with it.
Hit me, and then people always seem to know what to say. Yeah, but like,
this is so swell.
Isn't this cool?
How dandy.
Nathaniel, what do you think? Aren't you having a great time? Woo! And so, he's like hitting people, and they're like, yeah, saying the right thing.
Right thing.
And then he gets to me, and I don't even remember what he said. I just remember. What's that noise?
Yeah.
And then I don't even remember what he said, but I remember all I could think to say was something that I heard someone else say, and so like something he said was really definitive earlier, and someone in the background was like, "Period," like ending the point or something like that. And he's just like, he came to me, and he's like. And I could tell he's coming to me, and like anxiety started coming. I was like, "Oh no!"
What do I say?
Because he made eye contact. He's like looking around, and
Yeah.
and then he locked in with me, put it, and all I could think, he put it right in front of my face, and I was just like, "Period." He was like, "Yeah," and the Lord said.
Period.
Excuse me, sir. Is the answer period? Use it in a sentence.
Can I buy a vowel?
Yeah, can I?
Yeah, that is a good one. Period.
Yeah, it was not the cool. Yeah, it was not a great moment.
I love it. I remember I had a conversation with Mila's dad. He's like he used to minister like within his church, which is it's African American church, and so we would talk about the different, like when I wrote for my teaching. He and I would talk, and he's like, dude, I'll write stuff out, but he's like 9 times out of 10, I don't even refer to it. And it's like, that would scare me so bad. Like just the process of it. Cause like with me, like my teaching experience is very small, but still I try to like really stay close to like even the way I process information is like if I read a script in my brain, I'm like, okay, I have to say it a certain way. I think it's because of like writing music. Like I think to myself, like it's because obviously when you, especially with rap, it's like for writing
how you
rap
say
music,
something.
Yeah, it's very like it's very important. So like when I read things now, it's almost like I feel like it has to have like a melody. Yeah, a cadence, and so to have the right cadence, I have to have the right words in there, because if I miss a word, it'll throw it off and all that stuff. So I'm very worried about things like that. And when he told me that, he's like, yes, I'll just I'll write stuff down, but he's like, but usually I don't even look at it. And it's like, man, that culture's so different. Because with us, it's so like you have like I don't know. It's very like it's much like different,
regimented, organized, and it's like.
But there, it's like we're just gonna show up and we're just gonna do it. Mm-hmm. And I almost wish I wish that we had more of that, like just that. I don't know, I guess relying on the Holy Spirit. Like I wish there was more of that.
Don't trust me, we have that.
Oh, I know. Thank you.
Us in the media booth, we know we have that sometimes.
Yeah.
We're like, he said, what now? He wants to pull what on the screen?
Oh, okay. I thought that was going to be directed towards worship. I was like, what?
No, at least worship, you're just going to be like, we're going to sing that again. And it's like, okay, go back to this slide. But for Chris, he'll just like go off on this tangent, and then it's like,
and then you're like, Jesus, please let this work.
Yeah, and then it's like, all right, next slide. And we're like, what slide is he talking about now?
You know what he should do? Really, just to mess with you, he should or you do it to him, like just pull up a completely different teaching. Like all the slides or something be completely wrong.
Can you imagine that?
No, it would last about like
he would end up like
10 minutes
saying something on stage to the media booth, like, you guys have the wrong slides, get the right ones up here.
That would be
just because he's so direct and he worries so much about that stuff.
I've seen videos of things like that too. Like I just saw like one where the pastor was up there teaching. He's like, you know what? Like in the middle of his teaching, he's like, I hate to do this, but it's time for me to do it. He's like, Larry, in the media, you have really not been doing great so far. And it's like, poor Larry.
That's bad.
You know what I think about? Well, outside of poor Larry, anyone that was considering volunteering,
you're done.
Is
you're
not.
Like, nope.
They're like, no, I'll help with parking.
Yeah, for real.
I'll do hospitality. Not gonna do.
Yeah, Chris used to say a lot of not anything mean, but he would just like make comments during his teaching sometimes towards like the media booth.
No way.
And I told him that he had to stop doing that. But it would just be like he'd be like, I don't know. He would just be waiting for like a slide or something, and he still sometimes does it, but he'll like make a comment like, come on, next slide, and I'm like, Chris, you can't do that, like they will get it up.
Yeah, poor, and I do feel feel bad for Chris too. I feel really bad for him too, because it's like feeling the passion, feeling the energy, getting the cadence, getting the
You
moment,
walk
and then all
over
of a
to
sudden
the
it's
TV
like,
and it's
look
not
at that, and then it's
Yeah,
like
not
not
there.
going. It's like, okay, so anyway,
Yeah.
that
It's
would be
definitely
really
awkward
hard
sometimes,
Yeah.
but
Poor
yeah.
Larry in the
Larry.
media. Shout out Larry.
Shout out,
Gone but
yeah.
not forgotten.
Yeah, it's a toughie. Tough and for
Hard
sure.
thing for you to manage too, though, because you have a lot going on in the media.
Yeah.
What are some do's and don'ts of the media?
Well, other places definitely do it differently. Like, there's some churches who can, like, they will. I mean, I could, but they'll pull up verses on the fly. Like, if their pastor goes on a tangent and starts talking about something, they'll
They
pull it up. I'm not going to do that because I'm running, like, 3 things at once.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I think it's just interesting working behind the scenes because I think if you don't volunteer or work behind the scenes, you have no idea what's going on. Like, before I ever volunteered, even for my small church of 20 people, like, you're just like, it just happens. Like, I just show up, I hear the message, sing along, go home. And then my old church of, like, 20 people, the pastor was like, you're young, you can do the slides. And it kind of just opened my eye, like, oh, yeah, there has to be someone here every week to do the sound and the slides.
Yeah.
And
Well, that's the thing about it, like, just church in general, like, because I think from the perspective, you show up on Sunday and things happen. And it's like, you almost don't think, like, for us, it's like, we literally.
especially us.
Yeah, all week. It's like we're discussing what happened, what needs to be fixed, what we can do for the upcoming week, how can we make these things happen. The little tiny, like, the transitional pieces, it's like you have to be very, like, diligent because you want it to seem like it is seamless, right? Because if there wasn't any sort of, like, trying to think about things, you would definitely know it. You're like, man, this church seems not they don't have it figured out quite well, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's good to be able to have people think like, oh, this just happens, because it's like, then when that feels like that, it means you're doing the right thing, because it doesn't seem like there's
and
anything.
we're a set-up church. Like, we have to literally set up everything every week and tear it down.
Tell me about it.
So that, like, changes a lot too. Just crazy.
Yeah, for sure.
Some of the things that can be maddening about that are also some of the oddly beautiful things that make it unique as well.
For sure. 100%.
Yeah. And no church is for everyone. Like, some people would probably hate going to a church like this where we set up. And there's some people who do hate that we don't have a building. And it's like, well, but that's just like who we are for right now. And so if you want a church with a building, go find one.
Yeah, for sure.
Or find us a building, because
But truly making the culture a church of the people, I really do think is what the MO is for what we do.
Yeah, exactly.
How can you argue that?
Yep,
How can you argue that with what we do?
Yep.
Yeah.
You know?
For
I
sure.
think we truly, right now, like, as of right now, we live to, like, the vision and mission of the jar, like, loving those into a relationship with Christ and, like, doing it in a way that, like, empowers people.
Yeah.
Because we were talking earlier, one of our dream teams, and, like, someone made the comment of, like, that's what I love about the jar is the diversity, like, of incomes, of types of people. Like, we have so many ages, so many different, like, types of people who come to the jar, and we come all together.
Yeah.
And that's just, like, such a cool thing that brings unity, like, to the community around us, I think. And it's definitely going to make an impact.
Yep. Good.
All right. Well, Nathan has a game real quick.
Do you want to pull it up on the screen?
I've got it right here. So, worship, similar to our Taylor Swift game, worship song or love song?
So the goal here is when it'll show lyrics up here, and you have to try to guess. Okay, are these lyrics from a love song or
A worship song. Okay.
Come sweep me up in your love again.
Worship song. Worship pastor, you better know this one.
Yeah.
You better be good at this game.
Yeah, you better get all these, Chief.
Yeah, I think
worship.
Yeah, I think that's worship too, actually.
Taylor Swift song.
Yep, worship.
Right. Or the mountains should crumble to the sea.
That's worship.
Yeah, that's a worship.
I'm thinking worship.
You know for sure that's a worship
I'm pretty
song?
sure. That sounds very worship.
Sound like something you're pretty confident in, like someone who may have went through these before.
Well, I'm
that's
going to
worship.
go love song just to be different.
Oh, no way. That was a love song.
What was it?
I wish it
It was a
Say.
love song.
Wow,
I don't know.
That's
what
an
song.
interesting lyric to be in a love song.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is for sure.
So,
But wait a minute. Is a love song a worship song?
kind of.
Oh, we're timed. Let's keep going.
All right.
Oh, we are timed.
Yeah.
My faith in you was fading.
That's a love song.
Love song.
Really? I
Yes.
would say worship.
You're going to say worship?
Yeah. Because
I'm pretty sure it's a Taylor Swift song.
Dang, okay.
That was a Taylor Swift song. That's how I knew.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
my gosh.
Oh, man.
I'll love you for 1,000 more.
Oh, a love song.
Love song.
That's a love song.
Yeah, I'd say love song.
Yeah.
Jar of Hearts.
Yes.
That's what that song's from.
That is. Yep. You give my life direction. You make everything so clear.
I hope that's worship.
Gotta be worship.
I hope that's worship.
I think it probably is worship, but my gut's saying love song. I don't know.
Oh my goodness.
It was a love song.
That's
That's
unhealthy.
crazy.
It's not healthy.
I'm so glad you're in my life. That's such like a
That's probably love. Yeah.
conversation.
God, I'm glad you're in my life,
I'm
dude.
so glad.
I'm
I
glad.
want to say worship.
I'm glad. That feels like a love song. I
It
feel
feels
I
like neither. It feels like a conversation.
Yeah, it feels very not very great. I would be like, thanks. I wouldn't be over the
think
moon if
maybe
someone told
worship.
me that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying worship.
Hold on.
Let's go.
Worship.
I breathe you in. I lean into your love. Worship.
Worship.
I'm gonna say love song.
Could be.
Okay.
Worship.
Eric.
The only thing that matters now is everything you think of me. This is a hard one.
I think that's worship. Probably. I think that's a worship one.
I think maybe love song.
I'm going to say worship, but
Could be.
Worship.
take me as you find
What do you say
me.
like that? Worship. Worship.
Worship.
You missed the last 4 of them.
Worship. Yeah.
Worship.
I think this is worship as well.
No, I'm gonna say love. Love song.
Oh, that's a worship song.
Kate.
Let's go. Caleb knew that. You're my end and my beginning.
I hope that's worship.
Hold on, wait.
You're my end.
Oh,
and
that's
my-
a love song.
I think that's a love song as well.
No, wait. Oh, All
It
of Me.
is.
That's John Legend.
Yes, that's what
Yeah.
I thought. You became the
you're-
light
yeah.
on the dark side of me. That's gotta be a love song.
Yeah. I would. No, I mean, I think it's worship. No,
I
it's
don't know.
fine.
I feel like that's maybe a love song.
I'm gonna say worship.
It is a love
Okay.
song.
All right.
Someone I've needed so long.
Love. It's a
Yeah,
love song.
that's a love song. It's gotta be.
Yeah, I'd say love song.
Yep.
Yep.
You're the light in my deepest, darkest hour.
I don't know why that's funny. I think that's probably worship.
Maybe
5 seconds.
worship. Maybe
Click it. Oh,
love song.
dang, dude. What a bummer. What if the next song was Creed?
Yeah.
Can you take me higher?
Just all the ones that were thrown to the side. Nickelback, Creed, Limp Bizkit.
There it is. We're done.
Hey, is that worship?
Pop, 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 julep. Pop, 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 julep. Pop, 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 julep. Pop,